Good morning, y'all. I'm running late. Hi, how are you? So anybody that knows me, like outside of this venue in real life knows I'm always running late. It's kind of a thing with me. So I've actually done pretty good on Facebook. I'm actually more punctual here than I think anywhere else in my life. Any of you that are Latino out there, my Latin brothers and sisters, you know that it's part of our culture. It's part of our nature to be late to things. We like to relax and take things easy and not stress. It's hard when you have lots of commitments to not do that, but I am certainly working on it. So how's it going, George? Good morning to you. Hey guys, so this is kind of a big deal because I'm not going to be live on Thursday night. It's my first time in probably 8 or 9 months. I don't think I've ever missed. I'm okay, George. I'm running around like una persona loca. Estoy loca. Corriendo de una cosa a la otra. So I'm telling George I'm like a crazy person running from one thing to the next. I'm on my way to a hair appointment because my hair is really gross. I got gym hair right now, up in a bun for you. And I'm going to go get that done in between having to rush off to work and living life on life terms, as they say. So it's good to see you. I'm going to talk for a few minutes. I'm going to miss you guys this Thursday night, but my baby girl's graduating high school. Woo! It was a stretch, let me tell you. It was like the turtle beating the hare kind of a thing to get to the end of this high school journey. She had the worst case of senioritis I think I've ever seen or anyone else has. So I'm very excited about that. And I wanted to say that, you know, whenever you can take an opportunity, hi Sherry, to enjoy. Ay, mi prima está mirando, George. Mi prima Sujing. Un amigo George aquí, otro Latino. My cousin who lives in Barcelona, Spain. Hi, Greta and Pratish. How are you? You guys, I'm really excited that my daughter's graduating high school this Thursday, so I'm not going to go live because the live is during the high school graduation unless I have a really good sense of humor and I want to turn it on and be obnoxious. But right now, not so much. So hopefully you won't miss our time together and I'll jump back next week. The topic is going to be accepting our failures as lessons. I'm going to preview it now for just a couple of minutes with you guys, and then next week I'm really going to do the full 30 minutes or 40 minutes that I normally do. Thank you, Sherry. You're so sweet. Please hop on to my Facebook page and like it. Please messenger me any suggestions that you might have for topics, things of interest that you want to hear about. I will do my very best. I'm pretty good about communicating and getting back to you. I'm not looking for another spouse. Those of you who keep making engagement and marital proposals to me, thank you. One is all I can handle, seriously, and that one is a lot. He's a lot. I'm a lot to handle. He's a lot to handle. So we're actually broaching our 25th wedding anniversary, July 16th. Woohoo! By the grace of God, as they say. Thank you for congratulating my daughter. Hi, Letitia and Marwan. And my marriage. Hi, Maurice. Thank you so much. So I want to celebrate you and the things that are good in your life. I started these lives for myself and for my clients. For those of them who graduate from me or move on or go back home to other states and want to stay connected. I started it because they encouraged me. They wanted to keep my words and my voice with them. And I did it to be of service. So this is a way to show people what a counselor might be like, although I think I'm kind of unique when it comes to counseling. I don't think all counselors are like this because I'm pretty chill. Pretty personable. Not that other counselors aren't. It's just I'm real, and I just put things right out there, put things in perspective, and I try to be very authentic with my word and with my actions. So that's how I think a therapist should be. They should feel very personable and warm, and you should be able to reach out to them. And thank you, Maurice, and thank you, George. Some people have a really hard time seeking counseling, and this is a subject matter that would be great to deal with a counselor. Accepting your failures as lessons. Julie Maine? Miners, do I pronounce your name right? Was the one that suggested this 2 weeks ago. I did a little bit of it last week, and this is another part 2 of the subject that she wanted. How do I keep people out of my business? Okay, Letitia, I'm going to answer that off the subject is who's in your business and for what. And if it has to do with work, it's setting boundaries. And it's also showing people that people can talk. My dad used to have an expression, and he would say to us all the time, he says, I don't care if people talk about me. They can talk about me all they want, as long as they're talking about me. Hi, Julie. How are you? So that was my Cuban accent. My dad's philosophy was, who cares if other people talk about you? As long as you know yourself and you know you're right. If they're getting in your business because they're literally invading your space or getting into your personal belongings, that's a whole other subject, Letitia. But what you do is by standing strong and standing proud and saying, my business is none of your business, and I don't appreciate nor respect you intruding into it. And if we're going to be friends or colleagues, you need to take a step back and stop taking my personal inventory. That's a great way to say that to someone, Letitia, who's getting in your business and it ain't their business. So many times you guys have asked me about boundaries. So that should be our next talk is on boundaries. Julie, I'm talking to you, girl. And George, Gina, ¿dónde eres que sabes español? My parents are Cuban, George. They were born in Cuba. That's how I know Spanish. It was my first language. And Renice, it's okay to say no. Yes. Say no. Say no. It's not okay. It's not your business, not your story. We like to say something in the treatment industry that I'm in the addiction and drug and alcohol counseling, is they like to say, stay in your hula hoop. Like I'm swinging in my hula hoop. You stay in your hula hoop. You can't jump in my hula hoop because then my hula hoop don't work, right? So send some love to Letitia and support. The topic, and I'm only going for a few minutes today. Those of you who jumped on late, I won't be live this Thursday because my baby girl is graduating. But I will catch you next Tuesday and next Thursday at our normal times, and I will hit this topic, accepting our failures as lessons. Azúcar! Yes. George is paying tribute to my people and to Celia Cruz, which was one of the most famous Cuban singers and Latin singers probably of all time. So when we fail, who is measuring that failure is the first thing I want to say. Oftentimes, if not always, we are harder on ourselves than anyone else will be. Thank you. I'm glad I'm making you laugh, girl, because I'm crazy today. I'm like all over the place. So I want you to understand that your failure sometimes isn't a failure. It is a life lesson. It's a mistake. You went on a path you didn't intend to. You spoke out of turn. You said something to a friend that hurt their feelings. You ended a relationship prematurely, or you stayed in a relationship too long. Maybe you disappointed someone that you love. Maybe you did something more tragic. Maybe you hurt someone physically. Maybe you used substances. Maybe you had an abortion. I mean, these are really intense things that someone might be measuring themselves up with, whether they're a failure or not. And truth is that every human being will fail, will be flawed, will make mistakes. And I want you to understand that that doesn't define you. That's part of your growth and your learning. Some mistakes are brutal, like driving under the influence. That's a brutal mistake. And you can call it a failure. It's a failure to take care of yourself. It's a failure to ask for help. It's a failure to recognize that you have a more serious problem. But it doesn't mean that you're a failure as a human being. So I want you to understand that if you can accept that you are flawed and that you've made mistakes, that's growth. And that is the best way to get over past failures, if you want to call them that. If you intended to do something and you never finished it, whether that was high school or start a new job or start on a weight plan and take better care of yourself, don't consider these failures. Consider these things that you need to attend to. There are things that you have dismissed and there are things that you have ignored. And maybe it's time to get on it, that you can't ignore them anymore, okay? So start to recognize your failures of who are you measuring that failure against, And what is your expectation for yourself? And if you can pick yourself up by your bootstraps and say, look, we're down, but we're not out. We made a mistake, but in many cases we can correct it. And sometimes the correction is to go back and make an amends. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you. So let me catch up with the comments. Acceptance is so important with everything in life. Yes, it is, Amy and Sherry. I've seen tons of counselors starting at 13 to 59. Things go downhill fast and can only see them a month or two. I go into the worst depression, can hardly walk or talk. It gets worse. What do I do at the end of my rope? So let's first of all send some love and some support. Okay, to Sherry. And Sherry, keep listening. Keep doing self-help books, audio tapes. Sometimes the things that helped me more were outside of the counseling office than inside. You have to find that will within yourself to say, no matter how bad that depression gets, I'm going to beat it. I've suffered with depression for decades of my life, on and off again. And it often comes and rears its ugly head still. I fixed a lot of it with exercise. Antidepressants and medication have a very small efficacy, we say. So it's the success rate is very small, and it doesn't work for everybody. So you have to try exercise, yoga, and meditation are three things that have a better rate. There's a lot of research on this of improving a mood and depression than any medication right now. So I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV nor on Facebook. I know this from reading my own research from being a therapist. I am a licensed therapist and I've researched this personally and professionally. So getting up and moving, walking, being around other people and not isolating, join a support group, join a church group, be of service to people, getting yourself out of your head. When I can't stand where my head is at, I try to go do something for somebody else, and that's the way I get relief. Okay, so I hope those things helped. You can journal every day. Listen only to positive things and things that inspire you every day. Drown yourself with satellite radio, audio. I listen to Joe Osteen and he may be over the top for some people, but because he's always giving messages of hope and inspiration. And so I like to feed my brain with that good stuff. Okay. All you all send love to Sherry. Give her your tips on how you've battled these things of depression. I'm on meds and yes, I don't get around anyone. Okay. Exercise was huge for Chris and the community that comes with it. Yes. My best friends have all come out of the gym. I've researched it over the last 20 years or 22 years. I noticed that all of my best friends wind up coming out from the gym. Do you have a number that I can call you on? I am not soliciting clients. I will not talk because once I pick up a phone and talk to you guys, it does become a professional relationship. This allows me to do it for fun and for free, Latasha. So Latasha. Am I getting that right? Latasha. So you can text me, you can messenger me here and send questions, tell me things you want to talk about, but I will not engage anyone in counseling. That's not why I did this. So thank you for listening. What you can do is tell me where you live and if I can send resources in your area. Any local university will do counseling for free. You have to go to their psychology department. The county provides services called family services that give free counseling. Your insurance company has a list of physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists like me in your area. If you're looking for a particular type of therapy, trauma therapy, then messenger me that and I'll give you some advice on how to find a good trauma therapist, okay? So, I gotta go, y'all. I am so happy to be here with you this morning. I'm glad you like Joel, Chris. I do too. And Sherry, how do I get out there when I'm afraid of people? No trust. I didn't trust. I do now, but you don't have a choice in it. When you have depression, you have to say, I have to battle this beast. I can't worry about feeling safe or trusting or where I have to put myself out there. You can join a book club. You can join an exercise club, a knitting, like fencing, anything that draws your attention. Go to church, sit with other people. You can sit in a group and not talk for weeks until you get to know the people and then open up. But don't keep telling yourself what you can't do because then you won't move. Okay, Renice, yeah, trauma. So Trauma, look for therapists that are EMDR certified. I'll put something on my Facebook page about it so that way you guys can look up how to find therapists in that area, okay? You have to push yourself out there, Sherry. There's no way to get around depression without it. The depression causes you to have very limiting and negative beliefs about yourself. Don't let it overtake you. Don't let it be the boss of you. You got to fight it. You got to get up like a boxer when you're down and start punching. So that means getting up, making phone calls you don't want to make, call a friend and have them go with you to a group, a parent, a brother, sister, sibling, anyone that you're close to, and tell them that you need support and you need help getting out of the house. Sometimes I would even call my friends and say, can you just please walk me around the neighborhood just like I walk my little doggy, like get me out, because I'm not able to do that on my own, okay? Much love to Sherry, to you all. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Next week I will more seriously tackle the subject of accepting your failures and accepting your flaws as lessons, okay? God bless you all. See you later.